Hey folks, welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. Today is Tuesday, November 10th, and in today's video we're going to discuss the marijuana sector, and we'll do some technical analysis, some charting, we'll cover some news and events related to the space. And before we jump into that, please make sure to smash the like. It shows me some support, and consider subscribing to the channel. So first on the list, we saw today an article circulating here from Politico saying that the House will vote on cannabis legalization, a bill in December, and it's a bill to remove federal penalties on marijuana, scrap cannabis-related records, yada, yada, yada. So this is to take place in December. They do have a lame duck session in November and December. The House will vote on the MORE Act to decriminalize cannabis and expunge convictions like Kamala Harris alluded to that they would do under the Biden-Harris administration for nonviolent cannabis offenses that have prevented many Americans from getting jobs, applying for credit loans, and accessing opportunities to make it possible to get ahead in the economy. And we all know that given the circumstances right now in the situation of the economy that we have at hand, then we could use this more now than ever. A lot of people are hurting, and we all know that that's a fact. So hopefully we see this pass. They do have, we don't know specifically which date, they didn't say, but it's scheduled, they have a session scheduled for December 1st to the 4th, and then December 7th to the 10th. So it could be one of those two, so keep those in your calendar as potential dates. So the House was scheduled to vote on the bill in September, but Democrats in tight races worried that voters would not look kindly on marijuana legalization vote when a deal on the aid remained elusive. Momentum is growing on marijuana policy. More than a third of Americans now live in states with full legalization, and a record 68% support federal cannabis legalization. I think 2021 is going to be the year that it happens. Maybe the legislation and maybe the laws come into place and come to fruition in 2021. Maybe we don't see official rollout until 2022, but keep in mind that the United States has had quite a head start compared to Canada. So when Canada announced legalization, that's also how Trudeau got in, by the way. So Biden got in with promising this to legalize and decriminalize, and that's what Trudeau did. But we'll have to keep an eye on this because the states had such a faster head start, a huge head start, because when Canada found out that it was going to be legalizing, then it was the race to get all of these products manufactured, that type of thing, cultivation ramping up to secure funding. So the biggest challenge right now for US MSOs is that they can't get traditional funding as easily, and that's why companies like IIPR, who are a real estate, it's an investment REIT. So if you don't know what a REIT is, you can check that out, but essentially their business model is they buy buildings and lease it back to the people that they buy it off of, and that way they're able to get money in operational costs and funding without diluting their shares. And on that note, I saw that Organigram diluted their shares today, and they have a public offering, which I'll highlight in just a second. But the United States have such a head start, and they've already got huge revenue. So some companies make more than Canopy, the head honcho. So this past election day, 5 states passed medical or recreational legalization referendums, including staunchly conservative states such as Montana and South Dakota, bringing the total number of legal states up to 15. So Chuck Schumer tweeted on Monday that it's past time to end federal prohibition on marijuana. With the success of all the cannabis ballot measures across the country last week, it's more important than ever for Congress to catch up, said Cannabis Caucus co-chair Rep. Barbara Lee. After Hoyer's office announced the vote, we're going to continue building momentum so that Congress can take action. So we're currently in November, and if that's coming up on the 1st to the 4th and the 7th to the 10th-ish, so we've got about a month away. So we could see some huge momentum leading up to that event, and then we could see some huge momentum into the new year when Biden gets into office. If there's no contested election, we'll have to keep an eye out on the legal battle right now and the contested election, whether or not Trump has any leg to stand on. That's all going to dictate some bumps in the road along the way. So that could delay him getting into office on January 20th if he doesn't get inaugurated on the 20th, then that could obviously hurt the sector short term. But I would expect a little bit of a run up into those two events. So Democrat Cal Cunningham concedes to GOP Senator Tom Tillis in North Carolina Senate race. So this isn't very good for the marijuana bulls. That's not what we want to see. We want to see Democrats winning as much as we can in the Senate. And right now, I don't think that's updated, but I would think that that's now 49 to 46. But that's been like that for a while now, and I haven't seen it. But it does say it was updated at 3:03 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We did see that Toronto extended its ban on indoor dining and fitness classes by 28 days. So I think that's going to be another positive influence on the cannabis sector, because a lot of people are just getting tired and fatigued with this. And it's one way for them to just chill out. And we've seen sales just skyrocket lately. We don't know if that's due to the, you know, the mental aspect of this crisis on people's, you know, minds. Who knows? I did see that liquor sales were at, I think they boosted about 65% on the day of the election in some states. So people are obviously looking for a way to just tune out reality. And I think that that could be positive for the marijuana sector going forward. So like I touched on earlier, Organigram announced an offering, a $60 million underwritten public offering, and they're offering that at 1.85 per unit for a total gross proceeds of $60 million. So obviously that hurt the stock very, very bad today. It was down over 20%, I think 25% at one point. I actually sold my Organigram lucky. That was just a pure luck move, but I was over 30% profit and just looking to ride that hype as a potential laggard play. Sold it, and they came out with the dilution news this morning. Harvest Health reports Q3 revenue. It grew 11% sequentially to 61.1 million. Just take a quick look at investing.com. So they were forecasting 77 million. So it came in at 61.1 million. So that's a slight miss. Let's take a look at the previous one. So the previous one was 55 million. Didn't actually get updated on what that was here, but their forecast was 55 million. So it's 61 million. So it's definitely growing, but didn't quite get to analyst expectations. So third quarter revenue was 61.6 million, up 86% from the third quarter 2019 and 11% sequentially. Third quarter adjusted EBITDA of 10.5 million compared to 4.1 million in the second quarter of 2020. 2020 revenue target increased to greater than 225 million, up 215 to 220 million. So total revenue, already covered that. Gross profit, excluding biological adjustments in the third quarter, was 28.7 million. See if there's anything. Net loss was 2.1 million for the third quarter compared to a net loss of 39.1 million. So that's a huge adjustment there. Adjusted EBITDA, including yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I'll let you guys read this if there's anything else you want to take a look at, but that's pretty much the highlights. We'll see how the stock is reacting. Like I said, still no update here from the numbers on EPS. Tilray, so Tilray, that's another reason why we were down. Tilray had mixed revenue, so they beat on EPS. They were forecasting negative 0.21. It came in at negative 0.02. And the revenue was forecasted at 54 million, came in short miss at 51 million. So not the greatest. There was obviously down a lot today, and the sector saw daily consolidation. SPY opened weak, QQQ opened weak. So the overall market opened weak, and that obviously had an effect on the marijuana sector. We also had the Organigram weighing down on the fundraising, and Tilray earnings disappointing. So we'll see if Harvest can spark some interest again in the sector. But we also have T-God earnings here after hours as well. I didn't see anything come out from them. They're usually pretty late. Not expecting much of a move from this. Only expecting 8.6 million. Last quarter was 4.83 million. So they're fairly insignificant, but they're not that far behind Cron, to be honest with you, which is kind of sad, but yeah, it is what it is, neither here nor there. So moving on, that's pretty much all I have in terms of news, but I think that's why we're down today. Obviously, we were just expecting a daily higher low here on CGC compared to the low of 1832. So we ran about 45%, 46%. So we were just expecting daily healthy consolidation, and that's what we got today. We're not really anticipating a bull flag because this was a little bit more of a pullback than we want to see, but could potentially break to new highs from here on any news coverage or any tailwinds from any mainstream coverage or developments or catalysts in the sector. And like I said, the House, if they release a date or more narrative around the House meeting to, remove the prohibition against marijuana, that could also help as well. It all depends how the talking heads want to shape it. So we'll see how they frame it going into tomorrow. But taking a look at the hourly, most important time frame on the hourly, or time frame is the hourly, because we're looking for daily higher lows. So if we can confirm an hourly trend change, we confirmed an hourly downtrend, and we're looking to form a higher low compared to 2256. Most important resistance is going to be 2453. So if we break above 2453, then that confirms an hourly uptrend. We're looking at EMA 12 at 2397 as a potential resistance level as well, but very flat after hours. And like I said, if we can break above 2450, confirm 2453, confirm that hourly uptrend, then that establishes our new daily higher low at 2253. Then we'll look up to the high of 2695. Volume dropping off here today on the sell side, a little bit of a lower wick there. So bulls looking to buy the dip. Keep in mind, we're in a monthly uptrend, a weekly uptrend, and a daily uptrend. So the pullbacks may not be that significant. I know we're talking about the marijuana sector. It's like, what are you talking about? Every move it gives it back, gives it all back eventually. Yes, that's true to an extent. You can see here we were trying to form a cup and handle, fail, came back down, tested support, maintained the daily uptrend, set a new daily higher low. This time could be different. I know everybody's been saying that a lot and been hearing that a lot, but we had huge volume here. We had huge beat on earnings. We're expecting more and more hype into legalization and the Biden administration taking office. So these are the times where you want to buy the dip. I personally bought the dip today on a lot of these names, on CGC, Hexo. Hexo is also looking for a daily higher low. So we had this daily EQ here as well. But before I jump into Hexo, I do want to just finish my thought here. So we're in a monthly uptrend, weekly uptrend, daily uptrend. So when we see these pullbacks, they might not last as long because of all of the major term timeframes being in our favor. So because we're in a monthly uptrend on these long macro timeframes, then we should anticipate bulls buying the dip fairly hard here. And I was one of those bulls today, looking to see daily continuation. And it's all really going to depend on SPY as well. SPY up 0.1% after hours, but if we can set a daily higher low, change the hourly trend on SPY, that's going to be good for the marijuana bulls. And we'll continue to look at the correlation between crypto and gold and other assets. But we know that crypto's been holding the daily EMA 12 support now since all the way back in October. So that's notable. If we close below that, I would expect a potential risk off in the markets, and we could potentially see that carry over to MJ, but MJ could potentially do its own thing as well because of the legalization going in and that being a huge catalyst. So that's where we stand on CGC. So a lot of people are asking why Aurora was down today. If you didn't expect Aurora to be down at some point soon, I'm not sure what to tell you. And if you were surprised that it was down 25% or 26, almost 30%, and you're scrambling on the internet trying to find why was Aurora down today and you can't find anything, it's because Aurora is not investable. It's certainly tradable. It's swingable. You can go in it for a swing. Like if you entered on this daily trend change and higher low and higher high, so how many times have we blasted off on the daily and then not changed any trends and just faded, slow fade back into new lows? Why it was different this time and how you could have played this was a low, high, higher low. And then once we changed the hourly trend from this daily higher low here at the low of 438, you could have entered on the hourly trend change, confirmed the daily high or low, enter on a daily bull flag, and set your stop just below $4 even. And then you would have been risking about 5 to 10% to make upwards of 100 to 200%. So that is the trade that you want to be making. You do not want to be entering when we're daily overbought and the RSI is at 81, and especially if you're investing. And like I said, we're not investing, and the stock has proved nothing. All it has proved is that it's still subject to a lot of money. There was a huge amount of shares traded the other day. If we take a look here on November 6th, volume 461 million. 461 million times, we'll say $8. That's like almost $4 billion traded. $3 to $4 billion traded. That's crazy. That's a huge amount of volume. And what happened is the scales just tipped. We get too many people going bearish, too many people saying Aurora's garbage, and then the money makers come in, they swoop in, and they get people sucked in to buy these huge runs and say, okay, this time it's obviously different. But when you run over 100%, 200% from the daily high or low, I mean, we could drop 70% and still be just looking for a daily high or low and be in a daily uptrend. So if you're not comfortable with seeing your account go down by 10, 20, 30, 40%, then maybe Aurora isn't the stock for you. So I would be looking to potentially the EMA 12 support on the daily, maybe buy that and put a stop just below that if you want to bottom fish that, similar to what Hexo did today. So Hexo pulled back from, it hit 120 in pre-market and in regular trading hours 109, and it pulled back, and today it bounced off EMA 12. I actually took a position at 74 cents on Hexo because it bounced off EMA 12, but ACB, Aurora still got a ways to go. We also have a gap in the chart all the way down here at the $6, $6.50 range. Hexo had a gap as well. It filled that gap, so now we can potentially gap and go. We also saw decreasing volume here today as well with a lower wick. So I'm long Hexo on any bounce. We'll just expect a daily lower high given the size of the pullback compared to 109, but we could potentially see a equilibrium on the daily. We want to see the hourly trend change. So you can see here the low 73 and the high of 80 cents. Trying to form another higher low here at 75. We can break above 80 cents and change that hourly trend. That'll be good for the bulls, and that'll give us confidence that the daily higher low is now set. We also have EMA 12 there at 80 cents as well. So that's going to be a very crucial level. Getting a little dry. Okay, so where were we? So on Hexo, just looking for a daily higher low, still in a daily uptrend. So looking for a daily higher low compared to 61 cents. Like I said, bouncing off EMA 12, decreasing bear volume. We use the real candle bodies here as well. You can see that we're maintaining this uptrend. So we'll see how we open tomorrow. I'm not too concerned about the break of the wicks. So we'll want to see the breaks of those, and I also just had an alert come in here. Aurora looks to capitalize on recent rally. This is what I know exactly what's going to come. Dilution. Yep, dilution. So when you start to see these rallies, Aurora needs money. Organigram needed money. So when you see their stock go up 100, 200%, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to start to raise money because they're going to capitalize on that huge run up. So Aurora looks to capitalize on recent rally with US 125 million equity offering at $7.50 with $9 warrants. So they're going to be issuing warrants, but that's bad. We're currently at 690 after hours, down another 16%. Woo! Ow, see, this is exactly what we're talking about. If you watch my video from yesterday's, and I've been talking about it for a while, Aurora is not an investment. And my friends messaged me, said, when's a good time to start taking profit? I said, now, now, oh my God, now. I said, when we were getting close to the 200-day moving average, I said, we poked above and we're pulling back. I said, get out. The next day, they were kicking themselves for not getting out. I said, just wait, just sit on it for another couple of days, and then bam, we're down at, another almost 20% after hours. That is just brutal. This stock is going to have no fans left after this. It's almost frustrating, and that the stock just keeps destroying people's wealth. So I'd be looking to a gap fill for sure now based on that news that just came in. 125 million at 750, stocks at 690, around 51% from the high. Oh man, just take this off your watch list. Don't trade it unless don't invest in it unless it's just a quick trade. And if it runs 100, 200%, for God's sakes, just sell and lock in those profits, because this is a prime example. But definitely going to go down, touch an EMA 12 support and fill that gap, in my opinion, by tomorrow. Just getting smoked. All right, got a little sidetrack there. I did want to highlight that in today's video though, because that was extremely important. So let me just catch my bearings here and get back on track. So looking at Aurora looking to get the daily bounce going. And a lot of names we could just be expecting hourly equilibriums and daily equilibriums. But Aurora changed its hourly trend. So daily higher low looks set. So Aurora a little bit stronger than most, only down nominally here today. Almost closed flat on the day. So notable that Aurora changed the hourly trend. Looks like the daily higher low is set. So we'll see if, well, Aurora is obviously not going to be able to do it now. CGC, we'll see if the Aurora, if some of the HARV earnings can offset Aurora's bad news. Just not good for the sector. Hopefully this is the end of these shenanigans and they can just stop hurting the sector every time we get a little bit of moment of fame and time to shine. So anyways, keeping an eye on CGC, looking for an hourly trend change as well. But APHA doing that, Aurora doing that gives us confidence that we could potentially see that amongst other top tiers. Cron getting very close to an hourly trend change as well. Need a break above 731, closed at 727, down 1 penny after hours. Hexo, so already did Hexo on the daily, but like I said, watch the support line. I'd like to see the real bodies hold this, close above. If we close above that tomorrow, like I said, just expecting a daily bounce, and we'll want to see that hourly trend change into the end of the day. So looking at a low here of 75 cents and then looking up to break 80. But we did have this daily EQ here as well that I was watching before the negative earnings reaction. So we had a high of 85, a low here of around 71 cents, 70 cents, 79, and then we broke that. Now we're back within that equilibrium that we were watching before, and we bounced off here, and we're just essentially right in the middle of that range. So we'll see if we can if bulls can save that upward sloping support line, and it looks like they are trying their best with that lower wick here today. Let's just skip through a couple of names, take a look at T-God, see if there's any movement. Doesn't look like there's anything out for their earnings yet. But leading the list down was ACB, OGI, Tilray, T-God, Hexo. Is there anything green today? XLY, Oxley. I sold my Oxley actually not that long ago at, I think it was 31 cents or 30 cents. Looking to just reload that one cheaper. Cron, only one that closed green out of the big major names. VFF also closed up 4%. That's pretty much all I have for you guys in terms of the Canadian tickers. So TrueLeave pulling back from the all-time high, daily consolidation underway. We'll look to the hourly trend change as well. So we were in an hourly downtrend. We're looking to form that, we had that gap fill. So 33.51, most important short-term support. And then we'll look to break the high here of 35.35. We can get above that. That confirms an hourly trend change. and then we'll look to the all-time highs at 36. So we'll just skip through some of these. Ian down 20%, another name that when it runs hundreds of percent for no reason, expect a major sell-off. CWeb down 12%. I sold that one yesterday as well. I was up over 50%. BAM, I sold that one yesterday. I was looking to rebuy it today, and in hindsight, I probably should have. Fell down to 37 cents, closed at 43. And that's pretty much it. NBEV, IIPR, HARV. HARV was up 7%, so very strong compared to the peers. Obviously, that was a run up into the earnings, so we'll see how the stock reacts tomorrow. But other than that, that's pretty much where we stand. So taking a look at CGC on the weekly, anything above 1823 is above the 10-week moving average, so that's considered bullish. And the MACD, or the stochastic, starting to trend a little bit toward the bear direction here, but MACD still cruising to the upside and no red flags there. Taking a look at CGC here on the daily, we're well above the 50-100 and the 200-day moving average with a golden cross officially confirmed through the 50, through the 200 and the 100. So that is an extremely bullish pattern, and that hasn't happened in a very, very long time. And again, it happened where it crossed through the 100-day and we saw a fairly significant move. Now it's crossing through the 100 and the 200 for a golden cross, but we've already seen a huge move. So we'll see if there's still any legs left to this bounce here on the daily and the weekly and the monthly, as we are in uptrends on those time frames. So congrats to the bulls, congrats to the bears. It was obviously a bear day today. And with that, I'm going to leave it there. So just as another reminder, markets are closed tomorrow for Canadian traders. So it's a Canadian holiday. So there are the details for tomorrow, and resume trading during normal trading hours on Thursday, November 12th. So with that, it is Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Hope you found this information valuable. Let me know what you think of HARV earnings, and let me know what you think of MJ going into the rest of the week. Do you think that these are our daily higher lows and we're going to see daily continuation? Or do you think that daily consolidation is still going to take place into the rest of the week? So with that, thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, and we'll see you on the next update.